let's stipulate that they do come out of this saying, there's no way LeBron's leaving Los Angeles. Okay. We love having him. He sells tickets. He loves living here. He's going to break Kareem's record. We want him to do it in a Laker uniform. We want to have a big Laker to hoo-ha. They're great at those. And that Anthony Davis is clearly, when he's not, unfortunately, living up to Barkley's nickname for him as street clothes. Let's just assume they come out of those meetings and say, this is our tandem. Is Russell Westbrook, in your estimation, in your world of this business and agenting and things that you have been involved in, is he movable, do you think, when it's all said and done?
Well, what I've learned over the years, everyone is movable. Okay. He is movable. Now, what are they going to get back in return that's going to fit their timeline and what they feel is a realistic goal of what they can do or can't do?
Right.
So he is movable. He can be moved. Believe it or not, there will be multiple teams that will be willing to move him. Now, what are they willing to get back for the salary that he's at?
Yes.
Will it help this team? Because, the one thing, Rich, that it's really missing in the NBA now because of the salaries and all that is roster construction. Constructing a team is an art in and of itself. You have these guys like Jerry West, for instance. These guys are really, that's a skill set. When you can build a team and you can see what's needed. So as you're looking at LeBron James right now, where he's at, and you're looking at Anthony Davis, where he's at, can you build a team around them to complement what they do well so that they can be the best version of themselves? So I think you can move Russell Westbrook, but can you get back the pieces to construct a team that's going to allow them, if they come to the conclusion that this is a championship caliber team? And those are the realistic conversations that they have to have right now.
That's the rubber meeting the road. I think we have drilled into it, is that I think it's fascinating that you think that these conversations about is LeBron and AD a championship combination that we can still build around, that you still think that the answer could come out of that meeting that LeBron is the one that that we just have to part ways here. I just find that totally fascinating that could be a possibility. But I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be LeBron, it's going to be Anthony Davis, and it's going to be some new coach who wants a piece of this. And then the question is getting Westbrook elsewhere, how do they get the pieces back to build around these two guys?
Me,
that's it right there.
That's it. I mean,
because LeBron doesn't have much of a window
Because if
left.
you're going to be the best player on the team, right, you have to have a level of consistency where you got to play.
Right.
There's no way around it. So if you're going to say these are our two guys, make this very clear. If those are our two guys, then they're going to have to play a minimum 65 to 70 games so that you can have the consistency, right? So when you are talking about building and playing well in the playoffs, you have to utilize the regular season to figure out how you need to play well in the playoffs. And the only way you can figure that out is a level of consistency. Right now, if LeBron, who's averaging 30 points a game, you can't argue when he plays. You can't argue his stats, right? You can see that he still can play at an elite level. However, we still have to win games because we got to get to the playoffs.
Yes.
You still have to play a certain amount of games, and we're going to need those guys to carry the load. And that is, and right now, you're saying the only piece that we have as far as the resources would be another contract to build another. You got to bring in another level of quality of players. You can't just have minimum players coming in and depending on LeBron James and these guys to just carry this with just anyone.
Although LeBron did say, BJ Armstrong, and we were talking about it, that he said that, the season wasn't a failure. And he also said that, you're laughing, right? Because we have all stipulated that it's championships here in this town, that the season wasn't a failure and that he, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook played in only 21 games.
Right.
And so when you hear that, his mindset could be, well, give us 63. Like, let's multiply. Let's make that 3x times the play. All right. Where, obviously there's another quarter of a season in which there's going to be regular season games being played, that the team could win and get to the playoffs, and then those three in the playoffs could dominate in a way like that. I could see that's what he's thinking for roster construction. Just give us health, and time and will be good. What do you think about that?
Well,
concept?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to put on my former athlete jersey for just a second.
Go for it.
When you are an athlete, you have to think that way. I don't expect him to say anything else or anything less. I'm not expecting him to say, well, I can't do it now. No, because you are always playing a mental game with your peers. And he has to say that to let everyone else know that, hey, I'm still engaged, I'm still here, and he still can do it. I mean, he's still playing at a high level. So I understand where he's saying. However, as a coach, as an executive, I have to figure out how to help this 37-year-old. He's still 37 with a lot of miles on his body. I have to help him get through that season so that hopefully he will get to the playoffs feeling healthy, as fresh a legs as you possibly can have, and then allow his experience to carry some things that maybe he can't do just 5 or 10 years ago. So there's a delicate balance here. So I expect him. It's great that he still has that mentality. I mean, Rich, look, at 37, 38, if we can go out there and average 30 points a game, I'm taking that all day long.
Certainly if you get to a spot and he's fresh-legged for a 2-month tournament.
Absolutely.
Like, could you imagine if he's in this playoffs?
And you're not playing in back-to-back games. So I get where he's coming from. Again, the main thing is I think we're miscalculating how to get him through the regular season right now. Mm-hmm. How do we manage as executives to get him through this 82-game stretch? Back-to-back games, 3 games in 4 nights. To me, your body doesn't recover. Well, maybe yours does, Rich.
Nice.
I don't recover like I used to,
Yes.
So, but you know what? I mean, and I think and then the big component is, how do we get Anthony Davis on the floor for 70-plus games? That's that's the $1 million question, because you know what? He is a talent. I know people can say, but look around the league. Anthony Davis is a major, major talent.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.